undefeated. Every battle you've won. And I am who you say. Your son, your daughter. Crown me with confidence. I'm seated. Heavenly place undefeated. By the power of your grace. Heavenly places.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm a little hot.
I'm seated in the heavenly place, undefeated.
Shabbat Shalom. So now I got everybody's attention. Are you all settled in your campsites? Yes? Yes? So I got a few announcements to make. So how many of y'all got registered? Well, I heard a little kid say I got registered. So when you got registered, you should have received one of these pamphlets, checked in. So I'm going to have my wife come up, and yeah, she doesn't want to, but I'm going to make her, because we did something new this year. And for the daily events, there's a QR code. If you scan it, it'll give you the events that's going to go on throughout that day. So it is emailed to MNLT or a sound, and they can project it on the projector, and you can scan it. And so take a picture of it with your phone, then you can scan that picture, then it'll let you know the events going on that day. So with that being said, if you got registered, how many of y'all received a wristband? So everybody received a wristband. I heard I did again. Was that Salome that said that? Oh, that was Dad. Even so, these wristbands are for us to help identify who is registered. So if you're not wearing one, somebody may ask you, "Where's your wristband?" And you may get a notice of eviction. And sorry, your campsite just came available. Okay. So we're going to go through this pamphlet. I'm going to read it, but there's several items in here that are not in here, and I'm just going to announce them now before I start this. Firewood. There is firewood placed throughout the camp. If you notice, it's on pallets. That is community firewood. That is there for the community. Don't try to take it all and hoard it all for yourself. Because it is a community firewood. So we ask that you use it sparingly, but if you need it, take what you need. 2, if you own a dog, if that dog goes to the bathroom, who's responsible to clean that up? Wow, I think I just heard like 30 different answers. Everybody but me, the owner. So if you own a dog, how many, let's see, raise your hand if you have your dogs here. Okay. If I find a pile of poo, I'm coming to find you. And I'm going to ask you if it belongs to you. So with that being said, if your dog goes to the bathroom, you are responsible to clean it up. Do I need to repeat myself? So if your dog goes to the bathroom, who's responsible to clean it up? Thank you. So please, if you take your dog to the bathroom and it goes to the bathroom, you pick it up, you clean it up. Because we've already had one person already step in it and start tracking it around. Yeah, and we don't want that in the sanctuary. So, right. So, all right, how many of y'all got your pamphlets? All right, so pull out your pamphlets. We're going to read these. So first of all, first things first, welcome to MNLT. Welcome to, how many of y'all been prepping, preparing, and getting ready for this? Dad, you haven't been doing nothing, so don't be raising your hand. By the way, let it be known that Mike Laufenstein was nominated and elected as the Pastor of the Month by Star 88.3. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? So, you know what? Before I get reading this, where's Donnie at? Is he in here? Donnie, can you come up? I'm going to ask Donnie. Sorry to put you on the spot, but before we start with the main announcements, I'm going to have you come up and say a blessing over this camp before we start, and then we'll get into this. So if everybody would stand, please.
Abba, Father, thank you for gathering us together for Sukkot. Thank you for gathering us as one family. Thank you for this appointed time. And thank you for the fellowship we have together through your Son, Messiah, Yeshua. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has commanded us to keep the festival of Sukkot with joy in our heart and gladness toward you and toward one another. In your Son's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Donnie. Okay, so now let's get started. I'm gonna go through the volunteer list. So obviously, some of you are probably here for the very first time, and you're in a foreign land, so you need somebody who's not a foreigner to tell you what's going on around here, right? So, on these volunteer leaders, they are wearing a different color wristband, and it is this color right here. If you see somebody like that that's wearing that wristband, they are a leader, or they may have answers to many questions you may have. So, if you see that and you got a question, ask that person that's got that wristband. Okay. Okay, so our volunteer leaders, we have administration. This is all in the back of your pamphlet. Mike Kloffenstein. So if you got any questions, really, just go ask him. All of your questions, go ask Mike Kloffenstein. Okay. Mike Kloffenstein, please stand up. That is Mike Kloffenstein, your one and only Star 88.3 Pastor of the Month. And then we have Cheryl Kloffenstein. She is the hospitality coordinator. So if we're not very hospitable, blame it on her. So Cheryl, you got to stand up. Okay. And then our young folk leaders, we have the Miller family, Lance and Beth Miller. How many of you enjoyed that beef stew tonight? It was all by Beth Miller. Lance had nothing to do with it. It was all Beth Miller. He said that is correct. So Lance and Beth Miller and Jason LaDonna Balla and the Bovies are the young folk leaders. So if they would stand up. It's just the Millers. Yeah, they're standing up. Okay, and then maintenance. If your stuff breaks down, call Lance Miller. Lance Miller, stand up. No, that's not suffice. You got to stand up, brother. There you go. So when your power goes out 2 a.m. in the morning, go knocking on his head. He's the only one with the camper with a big old gooseneck. So if you hit your head on it, you found the maintenance guy. Okay. And then media coordinator. When you see these slides not going in order like they're supposed to, which will happen, blame it on Sean. When it happens, everybody turn and look that way. I am serious. Because trust me, when it happens, I'm doing that. I'm looking at him going, what are you doing? You got one job. No, he's got one job. Okay. Hold on. Who's doing announcements? Okay. Now, kitchen duties or lead kitchen. If you guys got any questions going on inside the kitchen, utilizing the kitchen, let's just say utilizing the kitchen, period. You ask Beth Miller, Cheryl Klovenstein, please stand up. Wave your hand. You got any questions? You ask those two. They are the kitchen police. Okay? All right. You got to make the announcements somewhat interesting. Otherwise, you're all going to just fall asleep. Okay. Now, medical team. So in case of a medical emergency, there is the address to this place is in your book. My advice, take a picture of it and have it on your phone. It is on the second page in medical care. That is the address to this place. So if you have to call, you can give them the address. So medical leads, who we have in as medical leads here, we have Nikki Corey. Yeah, Nikki. If you're feeling sick at 1 a.m, go knock on their camper. She'll help you out. Chad might not be happy, but I don't care. He's going to kill me after this. Okay. Auction coordinators. We have Kevin Moist, which Kevin's not here. And then Kara Butler. Did you have something to say about the auction? Then you might as well come up here and say, because so everybody, no, you cannot. If you're going to tell me you got an announcement, you know what? You got to come up front and give us your announcement. Matter of fact, just face that way and tell everybody. Don't turn around.
Okay, I'm just standing right back here. Okay. So we're getting, oh, wow, there's a lot of you out there. Okay. I've got to think about what I was supposed to say. I can't, what?
Hey, where's the tomatoes?
No. Stop, don't be funny. Really. Okay, so there's the auction like we normally have, but this year we are adding a silent auction. So you have probably seen on the table out in the hall, there's a little note about if you're donating to the auction. There's some information on there about donations, but donations absolutely have to be in by Tuesday night at 9 p.m., which is, I think, the end of whatever the Tuesday night activity is, which is the talent show. So they absolutely need to be in by then, or you need to talk to me specifically. Kevin will still do all the auction night announcing, whatever you call that he does. I'm gonna be sitting in a chair, but the silent auction, I will be taking care of that, and I will be going through everything that's donated and doing inventory and trying to make the whole auction more efficient in the meantime. So if you have any questions, please come and see me in the meantime. Auction items can go in this room here, as long as they're non-perishable. And I put by the door, it's kind of cluttered in there, and I don't know, I'm gonna talk to Mike and see if I don't know if I can do anything about that. But I put a little music stand right by the door with a baggie with these forms on it. And so they just say the item number, you don't need to do that, that's for me. But the item name, a description of the item, because I think that's something that we've been lacking in other auctions, and a general value if you know what it is, and if you're open to writing who donated the item. I think that will help us in organizing it. If you have any ideas that you think would be of value to running a silent auction, please see me at any time. Or if you really want to get involved in helping with that, I would value your feedback. But otherwise, I'll be working on that here and there along the way. If people could just not get into the stuff in there, but if you would please fill out a form and just tape it to your item. I put a roll of masking tape in there. It does not work well. I'm going to look for another roll of tape. It's very peely, but it's in there for now. And there's a pen in there. Please don't take it. Keep it in there. And if you have any questions about the auction, just find me and ask me.
See, that wasn't so bad, now was it? She'll never do that again. Okay. Our next leader that we have Don. We have security, head of security. So just for your information, we do have a trained security that patrols this place. Not all of them are wearing And if you want to ask why, ask me later. I'm not going to give you the answers or get into details now. So no drones. Also, what was the other one, Don? I think the fence. We have a neighbor. We all got neighbors, right? There's another story to all this, but are we clear enough with the security and the procedures? So just so you know, and also in case of an emergency, let's say a tornado, I don't expect a tornado or a strong hurricane to come through here. The bathhouse is a brick building. And here is actually considered, because it has no windows, it's got doors. It's got doors. So, okay. Now I'm going to move on to children and youth activities. Parents, so these are the faces you probably want to get to know. James Farmer and Bethany Little, please stand up. So there's James, and he does not know where Bethany is. Oh, there she is. So they are our children and youth coordinators and youth activities. So if you got any questions, anything that you would like to talk to them about, those are the people you go see. Okay. And then announcements and sound. That is me. Sorry, you're stuck with me on announcements. It may drag on a little bit, but I have learned if somebody comes to you and they got an announcement, you know how to make people not do that anymore? You make them come up here and do it. So if you got something you want to say, you better come see me before services, but then you know what? I may have you come up and announce it if it's a whole lot. But if you got an announcement, please come see me. And then registration. My lovely wife. How many of y'all got registered today? I saw a lot of hands go up. So you probably met her, or you met her little mini-me, Ella. So Sarah Salome Kloffenstein, that is my wife. She is part of registration. And then Don Cornett and Salome Kloffenstein, my wife, are the campsite coordinators. So if there's a mix-up, somebody's crossing your boundaries or your borders, you go see those two. And they go write them a notice of eviction. Okay? They're the border patrol. We need the border patrol. Okay. And then the tribal meals. If you want to know your tribal meal, whose tribe you're in, it's in here in the dining hall on the south wall, southeast corner. It's up on the wall. You'll see a piece of paper with the tribal name. And you have to find your name to figure out which tribe you're in. But you should have received an email with what tribe you're in.
Michael, there was a family that we just notified today that was in a tribe because it was the last minute.
Okay. Okay. So Beth will come up and give an announcement on that. Okay. She's got a lot of announcements. Okay, and then a talent show. Where's the one and only Jackson Pollock? I don't think he's in here. Jackson Pollock is in charge of talent show. If you have a talent that you would like to share or show, you see Jackson Pollock, because he's going to have the list, and he is going to be the lead on the talent show. Paintball outing. We got a lot of young kids like to go paintballing. Even adults. So if you want to go paintballing, I believe that is Tuesday. come see me, but that is at 2:30. We will make an announcement that day on that event that's going on that day. I am the lead on paintball, so come see me if you would like to go. Fireworks. Where's Tom? He's coming. Okay, so there is going to be fireworks Wednesday evening. Okay, I saw a lot of hands go up when I asked about dog poo-poo. If you own a dog, come Wednesday, I'm telling you, you're going to want that dog tied up, locked up, and bound up. Because when these fireworks go off, those dogs are going to be about 5 miles away. So I would highly advise you to put them in your camper, lock them up somewhere, because I already had it once, I think more than once. The dogs just disappear. And it is a very, very epic fireworks show. And it's one that you will never forget. Golf outing. We got a lot of golfers in the house? So if you plan on going on the golf outing, you see Mike Kloffenstein. He's raising his hand. The one and only Star 883 Pastor of the Month. And then softball tournament. See Josh Maziar. Sorry, thank you, Danielle. If you would like to sign up for it, if you haven't, I think he said we need 14 more. We need 14 more to sign up for the softball tournament to have, I think, a total of 4 teams. And I think that means we're almost at 30, just shy of 30, 32. It's that homeschool math. And then cleaning. I had a couple people question me about how can I sign up to help. If you feel like you haven't signed up yet and you want to, Kevin and Teresa Moist, they're not here, but they will be here tomorrow. They're in charge of cleanup. So, because there's many facilities here that we need many hands to help clean up. We got the sanctuary, we got the dining hall, we got the bathrooms, we got the annex building, trash around. Every about 2-3 days, I'm going to schedule the time frame to round up some young boys to come help me. We're going to hook up to a dump trailer, and we're going to go around and collect trash. And then market day. Market day, I believe we have around 33 vendors. Right, Jenna? I just saw her. Yeah, she's right here. So Jenna Dyer, would you please stand up? She is the one who has coordinated all of the market day. So if you got any questions, you bombard her with your questions. Okay. Did you have another question? Okay. Trash. There is black trash cans located all over the campground. Okay. But if you got a whole lot of trash, right across the street is a dump trailer. Throw your trash in the dump trailer. Yes. It'll be actually across the road. Don't forget to look left and right. As I tell my kids, look, listen. There's one more to that, I think. What was it? Stop, look, listen. And I'm still alive. Okay. All right. So you got all your volunteers memorized? You know who to look for? Not you again. Oh, music. How many of y'all love music? So we got, he's not paying attention. You feel a what coming? A setup coming. I think your camper's about to end up for sale again this year. So our one and only Marcel Murray is our lead musician here. If you got any questions, you ask Mike. If you got complaints, you go to Marcel. I like that. That's a great idea. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to get to the meat of this. Welcome to the Feast of Tabernacles. Welcome to MNLT. So first of all, I just want to say we are excited to have you here. We're excited to share, host Sukkot for you. We're excited to meet new people. We're excited to see the large family that Yah has blessed. Not just us, but you all. Because to me, you all are brothers. You all are sisters. So inside this booklet is going to contain important information to make your time here enjoyable and hopefully safe. Teaching and worship, we are honored to provide a daily teaching here and worship service for you during the Feast of Sukkot. So a speaker has taken time and developed a message with what he feels Yahweh has for this assembly during the worship. We encourage expression during the praise and worship, expression through dance. We do have a Hebrew dance up here. And if you want to come up here and join the dance, you're more than welcome to. And then we do ask that children, as I stated during the safety, that the security, that children are with the parents. Because children are a blessing from Yah, but we also ask, it is an honor and a responsibility that the parents have their children with them. And we also believe, and we feel too, that it is the parents' responsibility to take care of the children and raise the children. So we ask that your children are with you during the main service. We also ask during the service, please respect the speaker and attend the service unless you have other duties to attend. During the main service, if the kitchen will be shut down, unless you are kitchen lead or you have responsibilities in the kitchen. The basketball court will be shut down. The baseball court will be shut down. All sports, everything will be shut down during the main service. We ask that you be in here, be respectful for the one who's taken the time for the teaching. Please do not hang out in the dining room or hallways during the service. A nursery, obviously for nursing mothers, is right to your left, right out this door. Bottled water, and I will remind us every day at announcements, inside this sanctuary, bottled water only, no coffee, except for in a spill-proof cup. There is an exception. It has to be in a spill-proof cup. And I'll tell you why, because we've removed all these chairs, and it looks like a lot of dogs come in here and done a bunch of doo-doos all over the place. And we are humans. We need to be clean, neat, and tidy. And I think we can be. And we also can take care of Yah's house. This is what he has blessed us with, and we need to be good stewards with what he has blessed us with. So we ask that spill-proof cups and bottled water only. No straws. Yeah, no straws. Activities. We have organized afternoon and evening activities throughout the event. You'll see that there is activities almost every day on the schedule. You're not required to go to every single event. You choose the event that you think you would like to go to, attend, be part of, participate. It's what you make of it, is what you're going to get out of this feast this year. Choose the activities which work for you and your family. If activities are off-site, we will provide maps and details. For example, the paintballplex, we will post the address and how to get their location, my mouth's getting dry. We will post up on the screen the address and the map how to get there. And then photo disclaimer, MNLT reserves the right to use any photo, video, image taken at MNLT events without the express written permission of those in attendance for publication in any media type, including not but limited to the brochures, invitations, and print and social media. And then concerning the grounds, Yahweh has blessed us with a beautiful facility with which to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. We request that each person make a special effort to help keep the grounds building cleaned up and orderly. There are trash cans, receptacles placed throughout the buildings and grounds. We have cleanup volunteers, and we need you, each one of us, because this place does not become messy on its own. We are the ones using this, but we also ask that if you see something that needs picked up, a leader sees something in need, and they turn around and they pick it up. So we ask to be a leader, see a need, fill that need, and clean up. So throughout the building's grounds, we have cleanup volunteers, but we need you to help clean up. And please also make sure that you wash, dry, and put away any dishes that you use. So if you eat on a plate, who made that plate dirty? You do. Who's responsible to clean that plate? You are. It's not the kitchen maid. It's not somebody in the kitchen doing the dishes. Because could you imagine if everybody cleaned up after themselves, there would not be one person in the kitchen cleaning up. So we ask that please, 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 please be responsible for what you use. Be good stewards of what you use and clean up after yourselves. Because like I said, we are human beings. And we need to be clean, neat, and tidy. And then the sanctuary is also not a play area. This is not a playground in here. We have a huge playground outside. We got basketball. We got baseball. We got a woods to go in. We got a pavilion. We got all that ground outside. But we ask that there's no playing in here, especially on the stage. There's a lot of expensive equipment. And we just ask that please make sure that the children are not on the stage. Parents, because you may be confronted by somebody and they're coming and telling you, hey, your children are up playing on the sound booth or in the sound booth or on the stage. So if that happens, don't be shocked that we're warning you, we're asking you now. It's not we're trying to be mean. We're just asking to make sure that your children are respectful of the locations of the sanctuary. Oh, yeah. So the playground or the parking lot. The parking lot's not a playground. It's a parking lot. Sorry to be the bearer of the bad news. So with that being said, please don't leave your skateboards in the parking lot. Also, please don't leave your skateboards or anything on wheels on the sidewalks for some person like me to step on and break my hip or something like that. Okay? I got to catch up where I was at. Conduct. As a way of observing the second greatest commandments, please be respectful of other campers. This includes being mindful of the music you play, the language you use, and the physical display of affection you engage in. Dress code. We also ask that you please dress modestly and adhere to biblical principles or biblical standards. In our medical care, in case of an emergency, this is where I said, this is where the address is. It's in this pamphlet. While you've got the pamphlet, grab your phone, take a picture of it now. Got your phone on you? Got your pamphlet? No, man, you guys did not come here prepared. Don't tell. Oh, so I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. You never told us. We told you so. Okay, so the address to MNLT, it is 2524 North 800 East of Villa, Indiana. And if it is not an emergency and you are in need of medical care, see Nikki, Corey, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And the trained medical caregivers can help volunteer to provide appropriate assistance. Then the benefit auction. If you would like to donate food or items, as we stated, see Kara Butler or Kevin Moist. Safety, for everyone's safety, we have a team of volunteers committed to walking the grounds throughout the feast to maintain safe and welcoming environment. For the safety of children, we ask that you do not invite any children into your tent or your camper without personally speaking with their parents. Also, do not leave the grounds with any minor without any personal permission from their parents. Please accompany your children in the shower house and younger children in the bathroom for everyone's safety. Young children are also not allowed in the woods without their parents or assigned adult. And then during meals provided by the assembly are specified in the schedule. The meals are on your own, denoted in the schedule as lunch, dinner on your own. On these days, we encourage you to invite others to join you for a meal together at your campsite or in the fellowship hall. The kitchen and the dining hall are available for the person used on a limited basis. Please see Beth Miller or check the assignments in the kitchen for a kitchen use schedule. The refrigerators and freezers in the kitchen in MNLT are for MNLT use only. These fridges outside the bathhouse for campers to use. After every meal in the fellowship hall, please make sure your table and any dishes you have used are cleaned up and put away before you leave. And then as I stated, the bracelets, you all got your bracelets. Your bracelets request that you wear your bracelets during Sukkot to identify you and your family members are registered attendees. Alcohol. MNLT allows wine. This is a celebration and it is a rehearsal of a wedding supper with the Lamb, right? So Yeshua did turn water into wine, correct? So we do allow wine, but drunkenness is not tolerated here. And we encourage, MNLT, no other forms of alcohol are allowed on MNLT property. Drunken behavior will not be tolerated. Smoking, cigarette smoking is allowed outside of MNLT grounds, but not encouraged. No illegal drugs are permitted on MNLT property. That is all I have for announcements. I see some hands coming up, but Beth, parking. So as Beth is making her way up, I'm going to inform you. So if you are staying in Primitive in the woods, your parking is at the parking lot up here. You have basically a little short window to pull in, unload your stuff, but then pull your vehicle out and park it in the parking lot because that parking lot is for the campers that are in that spot, or the electric in the campers' spots. There is also a laundromat in the bathhouse. So if you use the laundromat, we also request that you keep a very close watch on your clothes when you put them in the washer, pull them out, put them in the dryer. This is all free of charge. As I stated, we're humans. Let's keep track of let's be clean, neat, and tidy, and pick up. And also, when your clothes are done in the dryer, pull them out, fold them up, and take them. So that way the next person in line can wash their clothes, because there's going to be a lot of people here, and there's going to be a lot of people having a lot of dirty clothes. So with that being said, I think with your help and your cooperation, it can go smoothly if you're always thinking of your neighbor. One of the greatest commandments that Yah gave us is to love your neighbor as yourself, right? So we always need to be thinking of our neighbor. Who's the next person behind me? It's just out of respect to them. So, all right, I'll hand it over to Beth. So Don Cornett has 2 more things. You got to come up here, Buttercup.
I just wanted to say, you wanted to mention the drone, right?
The what?
The drone, not fly the drones.
Yeah, no drones.
Okay. But I just wanted to say, no one is allowed in the North Woods beyond the power lines up here, the big high tension wires. No one's allowed in the North Woods up there. That's rented out to another individual. In case of a fire, I wanted to say we exit the building and meet in the white tent out back, and security will clear the building. Don't worry about trying to go find people. Just get out and get back to the back. Don't go back to the parking lot, because emergency vehicles will be coming in. That's all I had. Thanks.
Thanks, Don.
Okay, I have one thing to tack on to Michael's thing about the laundry room. In the past, laundry has ended up in the laundry room that nobody knows who it goes to, or that one person is like, I don't know where my laundry went, or something. There is a sign in the laundry room that says at 9:30 every night, we will make a sweep. And if there's laundry that's just sitting on the table, it will get bagged up, it will go to Mike's office, and you will have to ask Mike for it. So just a little warning there on the laundry room. Okay, I do actually have several announcements. I'm sorry, I'll try to keep it fairly, move quickly as I can. It has been asked that I talk about the tribal meal just briefly, and also I'm going to have the leaders and hosts come up here. So be prepared to come up here, because I know there's people watching in the rec room as well. So if they need to see your face, I need your face to be on the camera. When we started the tribal meal 3 years ago, our vision was to mix the people that come here regularly with the people that are new. I feel like looking out here across the crowd, probably 50% of you are new. And it was a time to come together and get to know a face that you could look at the rest of the feast and be like, I know that person. I can go up, I can say hi to that person. If I know nobody else here, I can go talk to that person. So with that being said, there truly is a lot of time and thought that has been put into the tribes that were put together the way they were. So I ask you to please be respectful and try to stay within the tribe that you were assigned. I do know there's one family that I did split, and I have been told that they are all going to one tribe, which is fine. For the most part, I tried to keep families together. The one family I did split up, they had like some older children that I put them in a tribe that had some older, younger, like 30-ish people. Anyway, but I just want you to know that I didn't just randomly, willy-nilly pick people out and be like, oh, draw this out of the hat, this out of the hat. We truly did put thought and energy into trying to make families with young children be together. I believe one tribe has a lot of young marrieds in it. Some tribes are like boys strong on young folks. Some tribes are girls strong on young folks. We tried to truly mix it up. So with that being said, try to be respectful to your tribal leader that has the information. They've tried to reach out to you and not just do a bunch of flip-flopping around. So with that, I will call out the tribal hosts. I don't have it in any particular order here. And if you could at least come up to the front row up in here. Is that close enough, Sean? If we come up in the front row to be able to see faces. Oh, let's just go like right up in here in front of the podium, or if you want to come up here and join me at the podium. So the tribe of Naphtali is Bill Ellerman with the co-host of Jacob and Petal Pippin. I don't know if Jacob and Petal are in here. And so these are the faces that you need to look for. And if you, like I know Danielle did not register. I did not have her registration. So if you do not have a tribe, please go see Kara Butler, and she will put you on a tribe. All right, so this is Naphtali. I don't know where your co-hosts are. They're probably out there. Benjamin is Josh with the last name I can't say. All right, I need you to stand up. And Aaron and Valerie Case. Dan is Jason Bala, which they are not here. They will be coming in Sunday. And we will be doing this again Sunday, Michael said. So if some of the people are not here. And then Robin, Suzette Robinson. I have not seen them yet. They are here. Okay. So Robin, Suzette, if you can hear me, please come into the sanctuary. The tribe of Joseph is Justin and Shannon Goodwin, and Tom and Jenna Dyer. And Jenna was just in here. If Jenna could come in, that would be amazing. Zebulun, we have Josh and Holly Klopfenstein. They are not here yet. Oh, there they are. And Mike and Cheryl Klopfenstein. I love saying Klopfenstein. Judah is Ben and Trish Pollock. I know Jackson's here, but I haven't seen Ben and Trish. And Chad and Nikki Corey. Nope.
Actually, when I made that today, I did not delete Chad and Nikki. It's Ben Clausen and his wife.
Oh, it's Ben and Hannah Clausen, and they are not here yet either? No. Okay, so we'll catch them on Sunday. Issachar is Brian and Maggie Kelsey and Chad and Nikki Corey. Gad is Lance and Beth Miller, and Steve and Kara Butler. Kara.
It's her favorite place.
I know, she loves it up here. Asher is John and Christy Bovee, and they are not here, and Dewey and Farrah Wilson. Levi is Jeremy and Elsa Rivera. It looks like there's a typo. It says Jenny. Can we call you Jenny?
Where did I write? Oh.
And Matthew and Autumn Parrott. I know they were here. There they are. And Simeon is Tom Murphy and Rhonda Klopfenstein and Christine Spicer. Yep, she's over here. Reuben is Mark and Diana Matos and Pete and Holly Shishagway. Holly? Okay. And while Holly's coming up here, as you're going to put a face to Holly, most of these people up here also work kitchen with me. So, with that being said, please see these people if it seems like a fairly simple question. Josiah Golder is also another one that is often in the kitchen. Josiah, come on up here so we can get a face on you. He is going to be, so I'm going to roll into the ice machine just real briefly. But he is going to be the one, the go-to to talk about ice. I will come back up and talk about that in a minute. But so these are all of your host faces. And thank you. You don't want it?
Can you ask people to check their emails and get back to their hosts? A lot of hosts have not heard from their...
Well, and that's why I think some of them wanted to talk to him personally. So as you're making your way back to your seats, a lot of the hosts have not heard from you, and they would like to hear from you. Is it whatever email they sent out to introduce themselves? I don't know what their email might have looked like. What meal they decided to have, where they were going to have it. Like I gave all that to Kara. Kara took care of all that for me. But you have a responsibility to connect with your host. Whether it's via email, return the email they sent you, whether it's trying to find them face-to-face, but try and connect with your host. Okay, so I said I was going to talk about the ice machine. I'm going to find my notes now. So someone gifted us with an ice machine last year after Sukkot. It's a big commercial ice machine, and we are having some trouble with this ice machine. I'm going to speak from my heart right now, okay? I came in 1 week, and the ice machine had been turned off. Unplugged, actually. It was unplugged. The ice was almost all melted. Someone had unplugged it. The next week we came in here, the ice machine valve had been turned off. So the ice machine does not get water. It will not make ice. And so Cheryl and I talked, and we have decided to put a lock on the ice machine. We have been seeing children reach in with hands. I have seen grown people that should know better put their cup on the edge of the ice machine, get the scoop, and fill their cup. That cup on the bottom has germs. We are a serve-safe kitchen. We do not want to spread germs. So the ice machine is locked. It has a sign on it that says, "See a kitchen lead." So most of these people that were up here, I won't say all of them, but most of them work the kitchen and know where to be able to get you ice if the drink coolers are empty. So we have a drink cooler in the meeting hall, and there's a drink cooler in the kitchen trailer that we will try to keep full of ice. There are 2 bags of ice in the kitchen trailer, and there are 5 bags of ice in the freezer room. If you don't know where that is, find somebody from the kitchen if you need ice. Here's where my heart comes in. 3 times, someone has thought that they deserve the ice above all protocol, and they just ripped the lock off, even though there was ice in the drink cooler for consumption for everybody. So my heart to you is, please be respectful. The reason we have some of this protocol is because we are trying to keep all of you safe. And I don't know that someone over here might bring their cup in that has sat on the dirt, and they're bringing that to our ice machine. I've also been told that people have used their hands to scoop in the ice. They've used their cups. There are ice scoops attached to each 5-gallon drink cooler. Please use them. The string is kind of long, so try to keep it up on top of the lid. It's the best I could do in a 2-week time frame, but that's what we got. So please, 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 do not rip the lock off. Please see someone that knows how to get into the ice machine if there is no ice. And with that being said, while we're talking about the kitchen, we are a serve-safe kitchen. We are a commercial kitchen. We have to follow a certain protocol. Most of you got the email I sent out. If you're working in the kitchen, tie your hair up. There are hair ties. There's actually a drawer labeled for hair ties and hair nets. The kitchen is closed at certain times. I believe Michael touched on that. If you use dishes, wash, dry, put away. There is a young man here. He was standing in the back for a second. Where's Ron? Okay. Josiah's going to go find him. There was a young man, Ron Golder, that is not a regular attendee here at MNLT. He was here last year at Sukkot. He spent at least 50% of his Sukkot in the kitchen washing dishes. And that is, in my book, that is not fair to anyone. So I want all of you to be very mindful of the dishes you use. Wash them, dry them, sanitize them. If you don't know how to run the sanitize machine, see somebody that was standing up here. And please put them away where you found them. And personal dishes, I had a couple people ask me, what about our personal dishes? When can we wash them? I would say if there's nobody working in the kitchen, like there's obviously not commotion going on in the kitchen, you may go in, wash your dishes, and exit the kitchen. Another big thing with this Serve Safe and the amount of people we have coming in here. Please, please, please do not come in through the pantry door this week. I know for those of you that come here every week, that will be a hard thing. Okay, it's fine, Josiah. But please do not come in the pantry door. If you're up in the upper campground, we will try to make sure that the rec room door is unlocked and the main doors are unlocked. Please come in through one of those two or come around to the back. We need to keep the traffic out of the kitchen because my kitchen is not big enough for the amount of people we're going to see through tomorrow and Sunday. I do have sign-up sheets. I think they're on the registration table, but we will have them set out in the kitchen. When the kitchen is closed, we'll kind of have them spread out. If you want to choose a time, I think I have three sign-ups per a 2-hour time slot to use the kitchen. And we will definitely give first priority to those that are tent camping because they don't have a camper to prep their food, cook their food. There is a kitchen trailer out by the pavilion. That is the gray trailer, the gray cargo-looking trailer. My husband so generously put in some more power, and it has some fun things in it. And I would just say, check it out. It does have an awning that goes out. There's a 3-propane burner out there. The black stone, is that for anybody to use? There's a black stone out there, a big black stone. There are some single burners in the pavilion. In that trailer is my personal store of roasters and crock pots, and feel free to use anything in there. Please wash it and return it. And please don't get into the food. That's my young folks' food. So if it comes up missing, I'll send the young folks on you guys, and they'll find my food. I'm sure they will. So, all right. Let me see. There was a few other things I wanted to talk about. Serving lines. I mentioned it briefly to some of you that were in there. We are going to tomorrow and the last Shabbat, possibly hot dog roast. We'll see how it goes. We are going to run 4 lines, and we're going to come in from this direction. So when you're dismissed tomorrow, I feel like maybe you should just sit tight unless you all want to completely cramp up in the foyer. We will try to keep things moving really quickly. We will have shields down the center of the table, so please do not cross over. I was told that Monty Judah, where'd Justin go? Okay, how many did you serve, Justin?
They had 600. They did in 20 minutes.
They served 600 people in 20 minutes. So we have 387 registered. So that's 400. That means we should be able to get through the line in 15 minutes. I know we can't do that, but please don't dawdle in the food line, okay? I'm going to have just a few selections on both sides. There will be people that will constantly be stocking things. I will have people at the heads of the tables that will say, you know, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's just try to keep everything moving smoothly. Let's see. Okay. So we also, like Michael said, we are in charge of the young folks. And we have got an amazing team of young folks. We have been working this year on kingdom building and expressing their gifts and building the kingdom. So Cheryl had a vision last year, or a revelation, I don't know what you would call it, something like that. And she became aware of a need in the body during Sukkot, that there were some families that had expended all of their resources to get to Sukkot. And they got here, and all they had was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch and dinners on their own, if they were not invited to another campsite. There was another family that I believe was here, and they got caught. It got rainy one night, or 2 nights, rainy and windy, and all of their food perished. And they didn't have the resources to go buy more food. We also have the wonderful people like Mike Klopfenstein, whose wife is extremely busy and forgets to serve her husband. So we think of all these people. I also have the young folks that I call my orphans that are here without parents. And so the young folks' body in September got together and made a bunch of meals that are in one of the freezers in the rec room. And Melody was going to put signs on them for me. We have 9x13 size casseroles, and then we also have like little serving size casseroles. Let me see. Here's my list. I'll just go over the list real briefly just so you know what's out there. Most everything that I have is either like for family size or personal size. We're going to put a donation can in there if you would like to donate towards the food that you're using. Feel free, like we have no dollar amount on it, because we want those that truly have a need to feel like they can take it, and those that feel like, oh, this would be something fun. I didn't fix enough meals. I will go purchase a meal. You know, most of the meals can either be warmed up in a crock pot, or there's a toaster oven in the kitchen trailer, or the oven in the church if you've signed up for the time. So here's a few things that we have out there. Just real briefly, we have gluten-free, dairy-free vegetable soup, gluten-free, dairy-free rice and veggies. There's a potato beef casserole. It's kind of like scalloped potatoes with little smokies in it. There's sloppy joes. There's chicken fingers that can be eaten independently or with macaroni and cheese. There's chicken Alfredo. There's single-sized cheese pizzas. There's a beef ravioli lasagna with cheese. There's a dill rice chicken casserole. There are hamburgers, just fried up hamburgers, and they are gluten-free, dairy-free. We just fried them on a griddle and stuck them in Ziploc bags. So those are some options that are out there if you are interested. And that was all done by, like, M&LT paid for the groceries, but the young folks put all that together. One more announcement for the young folks and their young folks' families. So our young folk group, for those that are new here, is age 13 to 30. That seems like a very odd range, I know. But it works, doesn't it, guys? It works very well. We have mentoring going on. We have role modeling going on. And it's really pretty incredible. So tonight, after Mike is done talking tonight, and Tuesday night, and next Friday night, we are doing campfire down at the Young Folks Sukkah. And if you don't know where that is, are there any new young folks here this year? You are not. You're not new, SC. If you are new, talk to somebody over here in this wing. They can tell you where the Young Folks Sukkah is. And then also another super fun time that we do with the young folks is we do a donut breakfast. And that will be Tuesday morning. This year we will be frying the donuts in the pavilion because I ran out of kitchen space. And we will probably have a donation jar out if anyone wants to donate at that breakfast time. It would all go to the Young Folks Fund. So I believe that is all I have. If I miss something, that's okay. Come see me. I'm sure I'll come up with something. So thank you, guys.
Sorry, guys. I want to get into worship too. But about tomorrow, so we have a mix of our Sukkot feasting plus our regular Shabbat service. So we have children's class at 9:45 instead. We have ages, I think it's 3 to 6, and then, or 3 to 7, 7 to 12. With our 3 to 7-year-olds, we will be moving them into the library just because of high numbers. Can we get parents, if it's okay, to pick up your little ones just for safety reasons, because we have children running around everywhere, which is fantastic. Love that. But just for safety, so you know where your little ones are, they'll be in the library. So it finishes at 10:45, so 10:40. Or an older sibling's fine, but just so we can see that the kids are going where they kind of need to go, and we kind of trust that the older kids, the 7 to 12-year-olds, know where their tents are, know where their caravans are, know where their parents are. But 3 to 6-year-olds, we'd love the little ones, but we just want to make sure that they're with their parents. But that's all. Okay, thank you.
Testing, okay. Yeah, just a few more announcements. So, I can't imagine what Moses went through when he led Israel out of Egypt, how long the announcements took. My goodness. Okay, just a couple things on the announcements. Beth had mentioned that the lock's been tore off. We have cameras recording, so we can go back in those cameras, okay? So there's cameras everywhere in the campground, so just beware. Not only is he watching up above, but we're watching and recording too. It's for your safety. The laundry room, please do not use it on Shabbats. So at sundown, it's closed, and then and also one of our things here, cooking on Shabbat using the kitchen. We don't want people cooking. Warming things up is fine, but cooking on Shabbat, if you want to do it on your campsite, that's fine. But in our kitchen in the dining hall. And then the dance during worship, because we have 380 some people, this only sits about 200, okay? And so the dance will be in the rec room, but we'll be viewing it in here on the screen too, okay? And then that's the overflow room too, during service is the rec room. And then auction proceeds. On Sunday, the board's meeting to decide where the auction proceeds are going. We usually take a percentage of that, and we want to help somebody that has a need. So if you know somebody in the body that's attending Sukkot that has a need, put it in the suggestion box, because we're meeting Sunday, so we'd like those suggestions. We love helping out people that have come with needs, so a portion of the auction proceeds will go to that. And then after our meeting Sunday, we'll let you know what the other areas proceeds will be going to. So before I talk, my wife wanted to share something, a vision that we were that somebody shared with her about being hosts.
So when we moved into this building in 2015, we moved from a small little country church, and there was a lady that attended our congregation. Her name is Marcia Angel Elohim, and she would go to Michigan up to Eaton Rapids congregation, and she would come back and she would look at me with that wide-brimmed hat on and her glasses, and she was just about this tall, and she would look up at me and she was like, "When are we going to host Sukkot here?" Every year she would say that to me. And then when we moved in here, she would when we host in Sukkot, I'm like, hold your horses. This is a huge undertaking, just moving into this new building. And we started a women's fellowship group, and she would look at me and say, when are we going to host Sukkot? When are we going to host it here? And I couldn't tell her no. She was so persistent. She wouldn't give up. Let's see. She, when we did start hosting Sukkot here, it took a month to get her transported with her stuff. It's a month before Sukkot, loads of stuff coming from her house in Fort Wayne to my house, and she stayed in our home during the week of Sukkot. She loved it. She absolutely loved it. But I would like to dedicate, she passed away in April of this year, and I would like to dedicate in her persistent memory the Sukkot, and honor her in her desire to honor Yah in his set-apart days.
Take it. Yeah, they put up registration in 2017 in the spring, early spring, and we didn't have a campground. So we spent, by the time we got okayed by the local government to move any dirt, we had 6 weeks to do it. If you're interested in seeing that happen, we have it on video. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to make this long. But I titled this, The Freedom to Celebrate. You know, our feast theme this year is freedom. And it comes from 2 Corinthians 3:17. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So we're all gathered here for the Feast of Tabernacles. Some of you are new. Some of you have been doing this for a long time. And but what are we celebrating? You know, the blessings of Yah's provision from this past year, yes. But also we're celebrating something far greater than this past year's blessing. We are celebrating a much anticipated future event. His feasts are a foreshadow of those events. Some of this you already know, maybe it's a refresher. Some of you it's new. This is why we celebrate. Yahweh's appointed times are teaching us to prepare for a future event. And I think that future event is right around the corner. His holy convocations, his appointed times, his feast days are rehearsals. The Hebrew word the convocations comes from has the connotation of a rehearsal, like a wedding rehearsal. And we are rehearsing for the great wedding feast, which are foreshadowed through the Feast of Sukkot. And we're rehearsing for that soon coming kingdom that's coming on this earth. So freedom to celebrate. You know, we still have freedom in this country to gather. I'm going to go on a little promotion here. We still have freedom, right, to gather. Just recently, just today, I listened on a radio of a man that decided to go close to an abortion clinic to pray. It was in England. The authorities were called, and they approached him and asked him what he was doing. He says, I'm praying. He says, well, what are you praying for? What's specific? He said, my son. Well, you have to be more specific. Are you praying because you're around certain buildings? Okay. But they told him that he was violating some I forget what the term was, some law, okay? They can't even pray in certain places in England. It's coming here, folks, okay? For us to have the freedom to celebrate, it could soon be taken away. So we're commanded in the Bible to pray for our authorities, are we not? Okay? We're commanded to pray for authorities. You know, when that was written, they didn't have a system where citizens voted in their king. It was all who was the most strongest, powerful, and who could conquer the countries. And so their only avenue was prayer, to pray for those authorities. And so in this country, it's different. And so I encourage you all to take the opportunity while we still have the freedom to celebrate and vote this coming election, okay? Vote for, if for any reason, vote for life. Vote for those that don't even have a voice. You know, I know we can't legislate morality, but if we can prevent, an innocent life being destroyed, we have that opportunity. And it's the other side, the enemy, they get up and they do what they have to destroy life. And all I'm asking is take the opportunity, the freedom that we still have today to do that, because we could be like England, after this election. The voices are going to be shut down if the election does not go, the way that we think our freedom could still be here. Okay. The history of what one vote, the difference one vote, just Google it sometimes. It's page after page of what, Hitler coming to power was by one vote. And a lot of things in history. And Yahweh will answer. He will heed your prayer and your desires of his people. But we have to stand and do something. So, all right, so we still have the freedom to celebrate. And again, I'm just going to go quick here. And the only thing I hope that you get out of this is, why are we celebrating the feast? Other than the blessings that we've enjoyed this past year. In Colossians, these are points of reference. Colossians 2, verses 16 through 17. Actually, I forgot. I wanted to start out with a song, before, because we're all listening to announcements for an hour and 15 minutes, okay? I told Marcel he didn't have to do, we didn't have to do worship, but there's a song that I'd like everybody to sing, okay? And Marcel doesn't have to come up here and play, but we have it on video, okay? So Sean, and it's a very popular one. I think everybody knows it. So as soon as he pulls it up, you can stand and stretch a little bit. But I love music from the land. It just every cell in my body just becomes alive. Music that comes from Israel, from the land, I get so excited about. So let's sing this, okay, to start our freedom to celebrate, okay? And you can dance too if you want. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. 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 Od Avinu chai, Od Avinu chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu chai. Od Avinu chai, Od Avinu chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu chai. Havenu shalom alechem. Havenu shalom alechem. Havenu shalom alechem. Havenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Havenu shalom alechem. Havenu shalom alechem. Havenu shalom alechem. Havenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Shalu shalom Yerushalayim. Shalu shalom Yerushalayim. Shalu shalom Yerushalayim. שאלו שלום ירושלים, שאלו שלום, שאלו שלום, שאלו שלום, שאלו שלום ירושלים. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Jerusalem shall live in peace. Shalom, 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 Yerushalayim. Shalom, 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 Yerushalayim. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Sorry about that. I thought the words were there for everything. I was so excited to sing that one, but that one I just love to start out the Sabbath with, and all right. So points of reference, the freedom to celebrate. In Colossians chapter 2, 16 through 17, it says, concerning, let no man therefore condemn you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day, a feast day, or of a new moon, or the Sabbath days, high days during feasts, I'm trying to clarify there, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of the Messiah. So we see here Paul making reference to these feasts are shadows of things to come. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, we see here where Paul tells us, warns us, he says, moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant, and how that all of our fathers were under the cloud, all passed through the sea, all were baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did eat that same spiritual meat, and all did drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Messiah. But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples present when Paul wrote this. He said those things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted, neither be idolaters as some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed and fell in one day 320,000. Neither let us tempt the Messiah as some of them are tempted and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur as some of them murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things, verse 11, 1 Corinthians 10, verse 11. Now all these things happened. Now what event was he referring to there? The event of them coming out of Egypt. The trials and the proving of the people as they were on their journey back to the promised land. There were trials and tribulations to prove them to see whether they would follow God or not. And he says, now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. That was written for those to whom the ends of the world are come. Do you believe that we're in that time period upon whom the ends of the world are come? Those things were written for our examples. Why? Because the history, the prophecy, the history in the Bible is prophecy of future events. The feasts are prophecies of future events. And we rehearse those every year because these are just foreshadows, the real events coming. And we're rehearsing for that. And we have reason to celebrate, the freedom to celebrate this feast because of the future event that's coming. In Isaiah 46, 9 and 10, it says, remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is none else. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end out of the beginning, from ancient times as things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. But back to the greater reason. So we see here that God declares the end out of the beginning. The history in the beginning of the book is declaring the events that are going to happen in the end. And we rehearse these feasts every year because of future events, preparing us for the future events that are coming. And the Feast of Tabernacle, the greatest of all events, I believe. So back to the reason we celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. Let's go back to the time when Jerusalem and the first temple were destroyed. And Israel was carried away captive to Babylon and into the other nations. They had been in captivity for 70 years. So let's pick up in Ezra 1. Ezra 1:1. It says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, the word of Yahweh by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. For Yahweh stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, the king of Persia. Was the king of Persia an Israelite? No, but he stirred up the spirit of a king of another nation to do his work, okay? Can he do that today? Can he stir up the king or the president of today to do his work? Can he? And he called him his anointed one. And he says here, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it in writing, saying, thus says Cyrus, the king of Persia, Yahweh, the God of heaven, hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth. He declares that the Yahweh in the heavens gave him the kingdoms of the earth, okay? And he says, and he hath charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of Yahweh, the God of Israel. For he is God, which is in Jerusalem. Now remember I said before that history is future prophecy, right? So these events that are happening are prophecies of future events. He says, whosoever remaineth in any place, verse 4, where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods and with beasts, beside the freewill offerings for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. Now, just what happened there? He says, let them men help them with silver and gold. Now, what's an event that happened prior to this that reminds you of what's happening here? When they came out of Egypt, the Egyptians, what did they do? They gave them gold, they gave them silver, they gave them all these goods to leave, to go back to the promised land. We see this event repeating again here as they're getting ready to head back to Jerusalem. And he says, then in verse 5, then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests, the Levites, with all of them, whose spirit God had raised, to go up to build the house of Yahweh, which was in Jerusalem. The house was destroyed when they went into captivity, and now it sat there in ruins, his house. And he says there in verse 6, and all they that were about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver, gold, with goods, with beasts, and precious things, besides all that was willingly offered. And also Cyrus, the king, brought forth the vessels of the house of Yahweh, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and had put them in the house of his gods. And those did Cyrus, king of Persia, bring forth by the hand of Midrath doth the treasure, and numbered them unto Sheshbazzar, the prince of Judah. And this is a number of them, 30 chargers of gold, 1,000 chargers of silver, 9 and 20 knives, 30 basins of gold, silver basins of a second sort, 410, and other vessels 1,000. And all the vessels of gold and silver were 5,400. And all these did Sheshbazzar bring up with them of the captivity that were brought up from Babylon unto Jerusalem. So this reminds me, if this is history of future events, where is the Ark of the Covenant now? Where is all the things that were taken out of the temple before it was destroyed in 70, or even before that? Where were they taken and hid? You know, there's a book called... I'm trying to remember the name of the book, but there's a guy that believes he's done like these X-rays of in different places in Israel, and there's these this huge area that has things buried, and he believes it's all the vessels that were in the temple. Does anybody remember the gentleman I'm talking about here? I think he's from Oklahoma. No, there's a Jim Barfield. Okay, but anyway, so if this event that we're reading about is going to repeat itself, I believe that those things are hidden in the land of Israel and will be found very soon, and this history will repeat itself. Ezra 3, verses 1 through 13. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem. Then stood up Yeshua, the son of Jozadak, and his brethren the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and builded the altar of the God of Israel to offer burnt offerings thereon, as written in the law of Moses, the man of God. And they set the altar upon his bases for fear upon them because of the people of those countries. And they offered burnt offerings unto Yahweh, even burnt offerings morning and evening. And they kept the Feast of Tabernacles, as was written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom as a duty of every day required. And afterwards offered the continual burnt offering, both of the new moons and of all the set feasts of Yahweh that were consecrated, and everyone that willingly offered a freewill offering unto Yahweh. Verse 6, from the first day of the 7th month began they to offer the burnt offerings to Yahweh. But the foundation of the temple of Yahweh was not yet laid. So they gave money also unto the masons, to the carpenters, meat and drink and oil, and them of Zidon, and to them of Tyre, to bring cedar trees from Lebanon to the sea of Joppa, according to the grant that they had of Cyrus, king of Persia. Now in the 2nd year of their coming into the house of God at Jerusalem, in the 2nd month, began Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel, and Yeshua the son of Jozadak, and the remnant of their brethren, the priests and the Levites, and all they that were come out of the captivity unto Jerusalem, and appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to set forward the work of the house of Yahweh. And then stood Yeshua, even his sons and his brethren, Cadmiel and his sons, and the sons of Judah together to set forward the workmen in the house of God, the sons of Henadad, with their sons and their brethren the Levites. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of Yahweh, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals to praise Yahweh after the ordinance of David, king of Israel. And they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto Yahweh, because he is good, for his mercy endures forever, toward Israel. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised Yahweh, because the foundation of the house of Yahweh was laid. But many of the priests and the Levites and the chief of the fathers, ancient men that had seen the first house, when the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, they wept with a loud voice. And many shouted aloud for joy, so that the people could not discern the noise of the shout of joy from the noise of the weeping of the people. For the people shouted with a loud shout, and the noise was heard afar off. So we see here that the celebration during the Feast of Tabernacles centered around the return to Jerusalem and seeing the foundation of Yahweh's house laid. So what did this signify to Israel? That God's presence was close to returning to Jerusalem, to his house, to be among his people once again. This is a foreshadow of a future event that will once again be witnessed by God's people. Do you believe this? In Isaiah 2, verses 1 through 5, it says that the word of Isaiah, the son of Amos, he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house will be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow to it. And many people shall go and say, Come, ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the Torah, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come, and let us walk in the light of Yahweh. From Micah 4, verses 1 through 7. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it, and many nations shall come. It's almost an exact repeat of Isaiah chapter 2. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways. We will walk in his paths. The Torah shall go forth from Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of Yahweh of hosts has spoken it. For all people will walk, every one, in the name of his God, but we will walk in the name of Yahweh, our God, forever and ever. In that day, says Yahweh, I will assemble her that halteth, I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast afar off a strong nation. And Yahweh shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever. And from Isaiah chapter 11, starting in verse 1, and it says, And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahweh, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of ears, but with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid. And the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of an asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on a cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it the Gentiles shall seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart. The adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines. Now listen here. So he just mentioned that he's going to bring them back from the four corners of the earth. He says, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. A repeat of the the journey out of Egypt, how they spoiled the Egyptians. We see the patterns they keep repeating here. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptians. See? With his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make them go over dry shod. Does the story sound familiar? That's our journey, folks, back to the land. We are celebrating, and there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like it as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. What are we celebrating today? The celebration of freedom. We're about to embark on a journey back to the land. This is a rehearsal for that journey. This is a rehearsal, as Michael said earlier, of a wedding feast that he's gonna prepare the table. You know, hosting, Sukkot, we won't have to worry about that. He will prepare the table for his people. Amen. So we are celebrating. This is the reason we're celebrating. We are celebrating this great event. We are celebrating the soon coming freedom when we shall forever reign with the Messiah. This is a soon coming wedding feast that we are celebrating. As those that returned from Babylon and saw the foundation of God's house being laid, and many shouted for joy, many cried and wept, so likewise we celebrate a foreshadow of this event when God gathers his people from the 4 corners of the earth and brings us back in the land and lays once again the foundation of his house on Mount Zion in Jerusalem. Hallelujah. Amen. So I don't have anything more. Marcel, did you want to? We just want to play the video. You going to play the video? Okay, so this is one of my favorite songs. It's on the playlist tomorrow, but it's about the story in all the scriptures of God bringing his people back to the land. Amen. All right. So are there any other announcements before we need to close? No? Okay, let's play.
O daughters of Zion, O Abraham's sons, hear the words of your father, hear his promise of love. I will make you a blessing, so count the stars if you can. You will be a great nation. I will give you this land. I will bring you back home. I'll bring you back home, oh my children. You will no longer roam, lost and alone in the night. There is nothing on earth that could take you away. Once I gather you under my wings, I will bring you all back home again. Though you've wandered like strangers to the ends of the earth, I will send you a Savior. I will finish my work. You have no other shepherd. You have no other Lord. Green pastures are waiting in Zion once more. I will bring you back home. I'll bring you back home, oh my children. You will no longer roam, lost and alone in the night. But don't fear, oh my daughters, or sons of Abraham, for I will wash you with water, I will offer the Lamb. Though your sins were like scarlet, they'll be whiter than snow. I have always been with you, I will never let go. I will bring you back home, I'll bring you back home, oh my children. You will no longer roam, lost and alone in the night. There is nothing on earth that could take you away. I will gather you under my wings, I will bring you all back home. Oh, I will bring you all back home again. Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai
That's what we're celebrating. Amen. All right. Okay, for tomorrow, just so you know, tomorrow, 7:30 a.m., we have a men's prayer and women's prayer walk. And we also have a sign-up sheet. We want to pray 24/7 for the whole feast, so there's sign-up slots. How long are they? Half hour? Okay, half hour. So please sign up, because if you don't, there's several ladies that are going to have to fill in for you, and they'd like to get some sleep, so sign up for that. Continental breakfast at 8 a.m., it closes at 10. Where's the sign-up sheet?
Out on the table.
On the table in the dining hall? Yeah. Okay. And do they have to come in here or wherever they're at? What do you?
We'd like to have them either in the prayer room or the sanctuary.
Okay.
We'll have some music going.
Okay.
And we've asked, not mandatory, but highly suggested, because the word says there are things in entities that only come out by prayer and fasting, that they fast a meal the days that they pray.
Okay. All right. You could be fasting all week if somebody doesn't fill in the slot. Deuteronomy reading at 9 a.m. in here. Mike Runkle's going to lead that. So the tradition for Sukkot is we go through the whole chapter of Deuteronomy in here at 9. And then the Torah portion will be in the rec room, so the band can practice in here. That's at 9:30. Is that right? Where am I at here? I'm on the wrong day. I have it at 9:30 to 10:45. No, we're in the rec room. Torah portion's in the rec room. 9:30 to 10:45, and Luther is going to be heading that up. Okay, and then our normal praise and worship, and then the main speaker, and then anyway, you can read the rest of the schedule. Okay, you have an announcement?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that means you got to get up here and say it.
I was just gonna mention, a lot of people came to me in the kitchen tonight and said that they hadn't gotten their, their wristband or gotten a chance to get registered. So we're gonna open up the registration table again for a little bit. So if you still need one of these or need to get your info.
You don't
Just
want to be
head up
evicted,
there.
so get your wristband.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
anyway,
All right.
that's it.
Anything else need to mention? Okay, one thing I ask, there's a lot of effort put into hosting this, and I want to thank everybody that's made this a special place for you to come. The only one thing I ask, let's just all get along, okay? And one other thing, no calendar debates during Sukkot, okay? So let's all get along, no calendar debates, okay? Okay, 2 things, okay? And respect, let's just respect and honor one another, because that brings honor to him, okay? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you again that we can come together as a body of believers on your appointed day to celebrate this soon coming event. And Father, we just pray that you would help us prepare for that day, Father, as the bride prepares herself to, as the bridegroom comes. So help us in our hearts, Father, to deal with things that we haven't dealt with. And to, Father, just to be good ambassadors for you, lovers of hospitality, and help us, Father, to remember to pray for the authorities in our land. And we pray especially for this upcoming election, Father, that your will would be accomplished, and that the voice of your people would cry out for mercy, would cry out for justice in the land. We ask all these things and keep us all safe. In Yeshua's name I pray, amen. You're dismissed.